He's been a magnanimous host for the event, but he's also pretty good at fundraising. Please welcome to the stage, Ardee Coolidge.
It is so exciting to see you guys here at NIO. I don't know if you know this, but I look forward to NIO like some people look forward to Christmas, because I get to talk to all of you amazing nonprofit fundraisers, and I know exactly what it's like to be in your seat today, because I was there for 4 consecutive NIOs before I came and joined NextAfter. I worked 10 years in the nonprofit space, and today I have 15 minutes to tell you about one of my favorite topics, which is good donor cultivation. Because we've all seen the bad stuff. We're going to look at some of it here, but I'm going to show you what's possible with the good stuff and how authentic cultivation will uncover hidden gold in your donor file. Now, fun fact, stats show that if I don't get your attention right now, you're going to tune out and think about lunch, especially given the time. So I'm going to get you guys in, if this suit doesn't do it for you, with an experiment. This is the Control series. Thousands of subscribers for this organization going into this series of emails every single month. Very templated, very branded. All the designers in the room, keep your hands down. We love you, but you can keep them down. You would probably like this, right? It's right on that organization's brand, right? And their team loved it. Their designers were all in on it. But they said, you know what? We heard this stuff about authentic donor communication, donors giving to people, not machines. So what if we tested this? Now, some of you are saying, hey, Ardee, didn't Nathan talk about this experiment? Whoever that is, good for you. You're paying attention. He did. But it's too good for us to not bring back, because it shows what we're going to be talking about today. So the treatment, just to break this down for you, was stripped down Outlook style. It was relational and conversational, not organizational language, all right? It aligned beliefs with the reader. It told them how what they're passionate about, this organization happens to be passionate about too. It was focused on providing value for the reader. It had a single link or call to action. It was sent from a person, not an organization, and it encouraged reply backs. It gave specific donation asks, not a general vague, transform lives, click here. No, give now, this amount to have this impact. Control versus the treatment, all right? What happened? 33% higher opens, 42% higher clicks, 875% more donations. Stop there. Look at that jump. You increased opens by 1/3. You increased clicks by almost half. But when they got on the donation page, those people were freaking motivated to donate to you because you took time to cultivate them. 99% more revenue. Show of hands, who wants to leave here with 99% more revenue? How's that, right? But here's the best thing. 1,500 plus responses. Someone in the back is right now saying, okay, Ardee, I was questioning your outfit choice, but tell me more. So here we go. Today I'm going to first tell you what cultivation is. I'm then going to tell you how you should measure success to know how you're doing. And finally, I'll tell you what's waiting for you at the end of the journey if we go there together, okay? So let's start out with what cultivation is and its role in the value loop. Now, there's a lot of answers for what donor cultivation is. I did not ask ChatGPT, I just made this one up, but it has the things I like. All right, so here we go. Donor cultivation should create a positive emotional and relational, pay attention to those words, connection with your ideal donor by using authentic, humanized communication that provides the reader, the donor, with value and develops trust. Put another way, when you're writing cultivation this weekend on the plane home, picture someone in your mind and write to them. I get this question all the time. I don't know how to write good cultivation. I ask, do you have a family? Do you have friends? Because write to them. Here's someone I picture all the time. She's watching right now. Would everyone join me in saying hi to Kayla? Thank you. This is my 3-year-old daughter. The other kids, I have 3 other wonderful children, Bethany, Joshua, and Gemma. They're all at school, so they're jealous they can't watch the live stream instead of going to school. That is Kayla. She loves Bluey. When it comes to the Bluey retention program, all right, if we're going to talk about retention rates, I'm pretty convinced, I don't have the data yet to back it up, they wouldn't give it to me, but that Bluey's retention is over 90% with this demographic, right? Because Bluey understands something that we fundraisers are too important sometimes to understand about our own subscribers and donors. which is this: people give to people, or in the case of Bluey, watch an adorable show, not fundraising machines, okay? We don't want to be a robot, we want to be a person. So now we're going to have a little exercise, okay? I'm getting about 3 dozen political fundraising emails a day right now. I don't know if you're feeling that. I just picked one at random. This has nothing to do with political alignment or anything else, but just join me for a minute in this. Here's an email I got. Please activate your Democratic membership. Let's ask ourselves, people or machine, okay? And I'll tell you when to shout it out. Sent by Membership Activation, people or machine? Machine. Thank you. Let's see who they direct it to. Friend. Now we're getting offensive because I sign everything with my actual name because I want to know how they talk to their people so I can see how we're doing. It's anecdotal. It's not a valid Winston experiment, but I don't care. They're calling me friend. I gave you my name. You're not even using it. So this is me. Yeah. Doesn't turn out well for the guy in that movie that he's saying that to, by the way. Let's compare it to this email. It's sent to me by Annette. People or machine? Thank you. She uses my name. Thank you, Annette. You know me. I go through this wonderful stripped down email. I get to the bottom. I don't know what you're facing today, whether your heart is full of joy or you're facing a time of sorrow, but whatever you feel, I hope this email makes your day better. Who suddenly felt better? I know I did. I read that email. I'm like, okay, now we're talking. Because you see, Annette, when she wrote that email, was understanding something that we need to remind ourselves today, and that's called the fundraising value loop. All right? So, in going with the theme of where we are, just roll with me. We're going to start with the donor, okay? And here's the fundraiser. Some of you who know a little bit about hieroglyphics are saying, isn't that fundraiser image, isn't that like a demigod? Yes. You're on the right track. Okay. The donor has a few things they want to do. When they wake up in the morning, by the way, none of those things include give you money. I hate to break it to you. But they do often wake up saying, I want to make a better world. I want to make an impact on someone today. I want to leave this place better than I found it. I want to experience the joy that comes from generosity. Who here, show of hands, has experienced joy from generosity? We had a speaker last year at NIO who said that the #1 way to buy happiness is to give it away. And he showed the data. It doesn't matter the culture, the language, the income bracket. It could be 5 cents if that's all you can put together, or $5 million. You experienced the joy of generosity. But what about the fundraiser? What do we want? Because the sad thing is we started out as donors, most likely, but then we become fundraisers and we change a little bit. So we say, we want to support our organization's mission, but we can't tell it apart from our vision. We want to increase our reach and effectiveness. I love those buzzwords when people tell me, I want to increase my reach and my effectiveness. And we want to, of course, acquire, we all know it, more subscribers, more donors, more dollars, okay? So how do we do that? Well, for over 100 years, we've used whatever communication method we have at our disposal. Direct mail started. You might have seen my direct mail performance a moment ago. We have SMS and instant message texting now, email, electronic mail as it first started, right? And if you have low donor attrition in your file today, I would wager right now it's because you're providing a value loop. There's an exchange of value from your donor giving you donations and from the fundraiser providing value back. And as long as this loop is present, you're not going to get a warning light called high attrition. We've all driven cars, right? Those little dashboard lights, when they go off, you got to do something. You ignore it too long, things happen that are pretty bad. Well, if you remove the value for the donor from this loop, which, by the way, fun fact, creating value is not asking them for money. That's not how you give the donor value in the value loop. All right? You give them the impact their money's having. You celebrate them. You create relationship. If you're not doing that, suddenly we find ourselves here, all alone, no one to fundraise off of because we lost them. High donor attrition. Now someone's like, okay, Ardee, we're not doing that badly, right? I mean, our attrition rates are pretty great. Well, let's see. Fundraising Effectiveness Project says the average nonprofit retention rate is only 40 to 45%. So let's flip that around. The average nonprofit today is losing over half, up to 60% of their donors each and every year. Now stop and think about this. These aren't random people on the street you're losing. You're losing people who were so invested in your idea, they opened their wallet and they gave you money once. And then they were saying, now say my name. Do you even know it? Do you know what I care about? Or are you just asking for money? And a lot of us are answering that question in a way that's driving them out the door. So if your communication isn't providing value for the donor, I'm telling you right now, stop calling it cultivation. You can call it cultivation, I've seen it, but it isn't cultivation. That word does not mean what you think it means. All right, 3 primary categories of cultivation. I got to stay on time here. Stewardship, topics of interest, and relational. Stewardship, your gift receipts from a person. Topics of interest, relevant articles, blog posts. Relational, feedback, personal notes. If you had a hurricane go through your region where all your donors are, you better be in their inbox saying, how are you doing? Are you okay? Do you need anything now? Whenever I say this, someone says, but that's not our job. Yes, it is. If you're not there cultivating your donor, you will not exist. So how are we doing? I asked Abbott AI, go sign up for their benchmarks if you haven't, because you'll get stats like this. Over the last 12 months, the average nonprofit donors have attrited, 52% of those donors have attrited over the last trailing 12-month period. Only 4% of lapsed donors have been reactivated over the last trailing 12 months. So that means 96% of those donors that were lost have failed to come back yet. Only 32% of available second-year donors have been retained over the last 12 months. No one's clapping. We suck. But why, Ardee? We all want to do this well. Why do we struggle? Here's the top reasons I see every time I talk about this. Number 1, there's no immediate revenue impact. Boards love ROI. And when you say, hey, why don't you spend a couple $1,000s a month on your cultivation program, they laugh. Why? Where's the revenue impact? No immediate revenue impact. We prioritize our brand, our logo, our templates, our trademarks over authenticity. We always add another chance for them to donate. And the moment we do that, we show them we're not there for them. We're there for their dollars, their donors, their subscribers, and they're out the door. And we forget, for some reason, even though we are still real people, how real people should talk to one another. So good news, friends. Don't be discouraged. This is your opportunity. They're not here at NIO. They're not hearing this. Most of your competitors aren't doing this. And the way you stand out in a crowded room isn't by dressing up your email in the same MailChimp template everyone else is using. Just ask me. If I want to stand out in a crowd, I put on a hot dog suit or this, and it works. Stand out in the inbox. All right. How should you measure success if I've convinced you to do this route? Well, HubSpot says, look at these metrics. Clicks, opens, unbounces. MailChimp says, look at the same metrics. All right? But yet, there is something very important missing here, and that's the reply rate. Nathan talked about that yesterday. It's the most under-measured indicator of the success of your program. Why? Because guess what? Bots open emails. Bots click emails. Bots unsubscribe from emails. Bots will even report you as spam. But only a person takes time to reply. I will not ask you to lift your hand to say if you've replied to an email from a nonprofit in the last month that wasn't your own nonprofit's email. Because most of us haven't, because most of us aren't even asking for replies. Don't rely on bot metrics to measure potential human commitment. You will not get there. All right, fine. Time's running out. I got 2 minutes on the clock here. What's in it for me, Ardee? What's waiting for me if I actually go down this route and have to convince my design and brand team that I'm dropping all those beautiful templates they worked hours on? Well, let's show you some more experience and data. This organization had a weekly newsletter, event and concert, announcements, context, heavily templated. They're a broadcast org, so they love their brand. They're on billboards. They're on the radio. All right. Stripped all of it out. What happened? Over the last 5 years, they've increased their upgraded donors by 16%. So donors are becoming mid-level and major 16% more frequently. Their second-year donor retention is up 15%. Is that worth stripping out a template, I ask you? Who doesn't want more mid-level and major donors? But someone in the back is saying, novelty effect. Ardee, you're showing all this data, but it's just novelty effect. It's going to wear off. Fine. For that guy back there, here we go. 6-month experiment. Now let's see what you think here. Control email cadence. 2-to-1 solicitation to cultivation ratio for this organization. Treatment email cadence. 1 additional pure cultivation. When I say pure, there is 0 opportunity to donate in it, and already people are sweating. 0. Subscribers were split manually in a random fashion. They ran the test for 6 months. No additional cultivation. Additional cultivation. I won't even ask you to raise your hands with which one wins. You guys are smart enough. You know where we're going here. But look by how much. 41% more revenue. 25% higher average open and click and average gift. 13% higher donor conversion, and over that 6-month period, 52% more engagement from that part of their subscriber file. Who would want even just one of those stats today? They got all of them by adding one stripped-down human-to-human email. So here we go. Here's your simple guide to take home with you, all right? Let's get into this. Send at least 2 Pure Cultivations emails a month. At least 2. Pure Cultivation. Don't give me a PS ask. I love how we do that. Like, hey, if you didn't notice the 5 times they asked you for money already, here's a PS. Just do it again, all right? Send this from a real person, not a faceless organizational sender, and ask for a reply from your donors at least once a quarter. And now I'm going to get on my little soapbox for a second and tell you what will happen if you do this. We're going to bring Kayla back up here. Take a look at Kayla's face. Oh, right over here. There we go. See that face? That's the face of Kayla when she's waiting for a wave to hit her feet in the Outer Banks 2 weeks ago with her aunt. All right? And they're standing there. You see that exhilarated look? She hasn't even received the value of the wave yet, but she knows what that wave is going to bring. I posit for you today, that is not the face of your average subscriber when they get their Saturday morning newsletter. Hit me, please, organization, with your 5 asks and a PS? No. But I posit today, because I've seen it over and over and over, that that could be their face, and the only reason it isn't is because of you. Don't blame brand. Don't blame marketing. The change starts with us, the copywriters who are here at NIO, who can start making our emails better. And when you do that, I believe you're going to see those results. And I don't want you to see them alone. I want to celebrate it with you. So reach out. Ardee at NextAfter.com. Super easy to remember. Just remember I'm the guy in the weird costume. I'll see you guys around the NextAfter booth. You guys have been great. Thanks.